Published in 2008, Peter Hessler's Country Driving, A Journey Through China from Farm to Factory is the concluding book in a trilogy that chronicles the profound economic and cultural transformations taking place in China. Hessler, a former Beijing correspondent and esteemed staff writer for The New Yorker, solidified his reputation as a skilled documentarian through his previous best-selling works, River Town and Oracle Bones. Country Driving delves into the transportation revolution sweeping across China and its impact on the country's cities. By the year 2030, China aims to construct a vast network of expressways connecting all cities with populations exceeding 200,000, an ambitious endeavor considering that the construction of expressways only began in 1988. To comprehend the magnitude of these changes, Hessler embarks on a journey from Beijing to the Gobi Desert, immersing himself in the land and documenting the infrastructure that sustains what he aptly describes as the greatest migration in human history. With an estimated 1/10 of China's population transitioning from rural areas to urban centers and factory zones, the country is rapidly embracing an automobile culture. In fact, China aspires to surpass the United States in terms of total highway mileage within the next decade. While China has long been hailed as a global leader in sustainable transportation, having made substantial investments in transit and high-speed rail, it is now swiftly transitioning into a nation of drivers. The burgeoning middle class, driven by aspirations and status symbols, is eagerly purchasing cars. In Beijing alone, a city of 22 million residents, approximately 1,000 new drivers register each day, accompanied by a soaring number of vehicle purchases. It is worth noting that after the Chinese Communist Party assumed power in 1949, all private automobiles were confiscated, a historical fact that adds context to the current transformation of China's transportation landscape. Since the mid-1990s, China has allowed private car ownership, prompting rapid adaptations to its infrastructure to cater to the needs of drivers. Peter Hessler's book, Country Driving, is divided into 3 sections, each delving into a different facet of the transportation revolution in China. In the first section, Hessler recounts his unique journey by car across the Great Wall, a still unconventional mode of travel within mainland China. He discovers that the majority of the population remains unfamiliar with driving and road regulations, evident in the content of driving courses and tests. Hessler's observations lead him to a city called Lishui, where aspiring drivers spend their initial day practicing gear shifting with the engine off. Although most participants do not own a car, they see driving as a skill to aspire to, as well as a valuable addition to their resumes. However, China's lack of driving proficiency is exacerbated by planning oversights in road construction, a concept that is just as foreign as driving itself. Hessler notes that inadequate considerations in traffic light placement and turning lanes in certain neighborhoods pose risks, particularly for inexperienced drivers. This combination has contributed to high fatality rates in road accidents. In 2001, despite having only half the number of cars compared to the United States, China recorded twice as many traffic deaths. As the number of car owners continues to increase, concerns about road safety grow. The second section of the book focuses on the changes experienced by a family residing in the village of Sancha, which has become a popular tourist destination for people from Beijing. Hessler closely examines how the evolving environment affects the family's perspectives on education, employment, and housing. In the third section of Country Driving, Peter Hessler explores the impact of land development, particularly how the construction of new expressways in southern Zhejiang province has transformed the once underdeveloped countryside into a string of factory towns. Hessler recounts his personal experiences traveling from town to town, engaging with locals to understand the manufacturing industries prevalent in each area. The introduction of new roads has been a catalyst for urban development, with cities expanding outward and rural lands, collectively owned by villages, being converted into urban areas and handed over to the cities. These local jurisdictions then sell development rights, using the proceeds to fund infrastructure projects such as roads and other necessary facilities. Once the construction of buildings and infrastructure is complete, the cities lease the properties and share the profits with the developers. According to scholars from the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, coastal cities rely on real estate development for approximately half of their total revenues. This economic system creates strong incentives for cities to continually expand their urban areas. For example, the city of Lishui allocated a staggering $8.8 billion toward infrastructure investments between 2000 and 2005, surpassing the amount spent on infrastructure in the previous 50 years combined. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.